Hey, Shalom Alaikum for come back apart from James London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chachadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in all sincerity. I'm going to title this video, Friends of the World Will Perish. All right, and then this was inspired from the video Elder Apostle Ramlab recently that I was watching today, and going into this dude talking about going to college, right? Um, you know, how Negroes in Spanish should be going to college or whatever in this time, which Elder Apostle Ramla was, you know, going in on the guy, rebuking him because we're obviously in in the end times, right? And you know, it would be a complete waste of time to think that you will be setting yourself up to hold some sort of position um in this world, by going into hella debt. Because yeah, all this shit, is expensive, man. And here in the UK, it's the same. It's the same way. University is hella expensive, and it's even more expensive than it was when I went to university. You know, prior me coming into the truth, and that's where I was at the time when I heard about this. Um, and I'm still paying that off now. So all of us around us not wrong. Um, you know, but thankfully that should be coming to an end soon. But yeah, it's 3 times more expensive than when I even went now, and so that's not something that we would recommend, man. Going to university and getting all these bogus degrees you can't use. Now, that's not to say that they're all useless, but it is a lot of time and a lot of money invested that in reality, you know, it's part of the reason. Well, not well. It was something I realized when I was at university. Is like everybody's here doing doing the course I'm on, and but there's not that many jobs to go into, right? And what at the time I was there, the 2008 crash had just happened, and nobody could even get like work experience, work placements. All right, so it's like I knew nothing was not this is going to be impossible, pretty much, man. And so I just 'cause I was learning the truth at the same time. I just gave up on that place. I left, but I left with debt. And I'm still paying that shit off now. But yeah, people come out with these degrees and haven't got, you know, they're working at jobs that they're overqualified for, because they can't get into the industry that they were looking to get into, and that shit's only getting worse. So it's not the wisest move. It's better to learn some skills, man. You want to, do some, earn some money. You know, put yourself on a a gas engineer course or something. You know what I'm saying? Gas engineers earn quite pretty good money out here. Or learn to be an electrician or something. Skills you can actually practically use, man. That'd be useful. Going to university and spending over here, I think it's 9 grand a year now, £9,000 a year for like a 3 4 year course, bro. That's a lot of money. Plus all the loans and the bursaries and shit, bro. Yeah, it's had a lot of money, man. But that's just my testimony on on that. But yeah, he was going into this dude, man, and it's the mindset. It's the mindset ultimately. Okay, because like I said, we obviously it's the end times, man, and we're not thinking of settling down in Babylon. We're not here trying to settle down in Babylon, but we're trying to get the hell out of here, and things are looking more spicier than ever. Like, have you really got the time? Have you really got the money to be doing all of this? No, probably not. You ain't got that much time. And like I say, you're just gonna come out worse off of it. For the most part. You know, but but yeah, that's the mentality of a person that foresees this world going on. He wants this world to go on, right? Because you'd have to want it to go on, right? If you want to do this long ass course and spend all this peas, all this money, then you obviously have, in your mind believe that this place is going to continue, all right? That it's worth the investment, all right? But we're here to tell you, man, that the fashion of this world passeth away, man. The time is running out, man. It's running out. Okay, there's little point putting, making some long-term investment into this world, thinking that you're gonna hold a place in this world and be successful or whatever. Like, like Elder Apostle Ram saying, it's not the time. you know. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of get into that, and so yeah, let's just get into it, right? So I want to start here in James chapter 4, and verse 4. Right, it says, "Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High?" Right, being a friend of this world is like what I said. You want this world to continue as is, right? You see yourself, you see yourself as a part of this world, right? That you're trying to find your place in it, trying to hold down something, right? That's a friend. That's a friend of the world. Okay, the status quo nigga, status quo dude, right? That just wants to get on in this place and do the best he can for himself. Well, men of the Lord, or our mentality is completely different. Yeah, we do what we do to get by. We got our jobs and stuff, and we get our daily bread and that. But only we're not here we're not saying, like I said, we're not here to settle down, man. We're looking to get the hell out of here. We're looking for the return of Yahweh Shai to come and destroy this place, right, and get out of here. So our mindset is not that we're gonna be here for ages, so we might as well settle down. No, that's not the mentality you're supposed to have. Okay, that is a friend of the world mentality, right? But it says, it says, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? These men are not in the right frame of mind, right? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High, right? And that's what it's going to be proven to be, because everybody that is invested in this world, okay, they're going to end up taking the mark of the beast, because they're going to want it. They're going to want it to continue, and they're going to want to try and hold a place in it. This is First John chapter 4 and verse 5. Said they. Let me see if there's anyone more on that. Yeah, verse 5 said, "They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world." They speak worldly things. So that's why my dude's talking about them people going to college. Like I said, it's not to say that for sure that you go to college, you waste your time completely, and you're gonna get nothing from it, and like just it's not 100% the case. Like that's what round I was going into, right? But for the most part, it ain't gonna fucking work out. You're just gonna end up in debt. You ain't got time. Time in this world. Like things, according to this world, it's not on your side to be doing mad things, long ass things, because time is short in this world, right? You better off just knuckling down, okay, doing what you need to do to get by, and occupy yourself in these scriptures, man, and teach. That's the best thing you could be doing, rather than giving yourself up to the system. Right? Thinking, if I do this 3-4 year course, then I'm gonna be doing this and doing that, bro. The economy is collapsing, right? That is it's collapsing, man. AI is taking over. You're gonna be redundant by the time you finish that course, if you're not already redundant. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the way the world's moving right now, because it's at the end. All right. So they are the world. They are of the world. Therefore, speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. That's how we know where people's mindsets are. By the things that they say. Most of these guys are just worldly. All right. So we are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth us not, or heareth not us. Right. So yeah, that's why he was complaining about Elder Abba Bivens, and what he was teaching back then. Right. But it was nothing wrong. Well, he didn't like the idea that we need to be highly educated. Well, most of them, the apostles, that a lot of them were highly educated. They just work jobs. What I mean? And a fisherman, tent maker, whatever, carpenter. You know what I mean? And, like Paul would be the only one that came from a high educated background. not saying he was the only one, but I'm just saying the one that was mentioned about was Paul, right? But the majority of them, Peter and all them guys, they were just simple guys. You know what I'm saying? They weren't highly educated like that. So it's not a requirement. No, we didn't need to be highly educated and have good jobs. That was never that was never a requirement. All right, it was never the requirement. So to have an issue with that is stupid. All right. That's what I want from that. This is First Corinthians chapter 3 verse 19. Verse 18, right? So let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seems to be wise in this world, right, let him become a fool that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness. Right? The things in this world, like I said, it's all temporary and vain. So, like I said, we do what we need to get by. All right. But like I said, thinking, especially now, especially now, where we are in prophecy and everything that's going on in the world, to be listening to everybody out there, we should do this, you should do that. There's hundreds of Jakes, thousands of Jakes out there trying to set up some business right now, thinking that they're gonna build this company or business or whatever. It's gonna be like they're gonna have longevity, right? They're gonna have wealth. It's not happening. It's not happening. Right? If you started earlier, maybe, but it ain't happening now. So yeah, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Right? They all think they're gonna do something. Right? This place, the plug is about to be pulled. It's all gonna be short lived. In Psalms 49 verse 11, it says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever." Right? Jake and Bodhi Jake think that they're gonna be here forever, man. And so they're trying to invest. They're trying to settle down. They're trying to, build something. But what's the point when it's all about to be destroyed? It's all about to be taken away from you. Especially when you're not focusing on the scriptures, what every Israelite should be doing. Focusing on the word Lord, but we know it's not written that way. These guys are going to be knuckleheads to the end, and be in that worldly mindset, thinking that we're just going to do this and do that. Well, I say this is all going to come to an end. All right, you thought going after riches and stuff was more important than going after the scriptures, and returning to the Lord. You thought riches and was the answer. Oh, if I just do this and just do that, if I just get this degree and I can do this, you thought that was higher things than the scriptures. But you're gonna find out that they weren't. And be left with nothing. All right. This is Micah chapter 2 verse 10. So arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Right. This is not, like I said, it's not a place for us to settle down. Okay, do what you gotta do, but we want to get the hell out of here. And like I said, 10, 20 years ago, things might have been different. You might have had the time to do something, maybe. Right, but the fact remains that all that college and university shit was expensive. As I'm still paying mine off. And I didn't even finish. I left. I'm still paying it off. But the timing is awful. For anyone thinking that they're gonna do this now is awful. My boy, he's pretty old now. He ain't little no more. But he's at that age where college, university stuff in it. So obviously we was advising him what he should be doing, and it's like, you don't want to waste your time in university, right? Because one, I'll be paying for it, And it's hella expensive, and I don't want to pay for that. But two, it's a waste of time. Okay, I told him he'd be better off learning some skills, learning some trades or whatever, whatever it is you fancy. But like do an apprenticeship, get paid while you're learning, something like that. I mean, we haven't been successful in finding one of those because they're kind of hard to get. But they're more worthwhile doing. But that's my boy. It's something to keep him occupied. But he can earn a bit of money at the same time and learn some actual skills. But I mean, bro, yeah, you think you're gonna be doing all of this now in 2026, right? 2027, bro, America might be on fire. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, I'm just wait. I've done all this. Why? Why have I done this? I could have been learning scriptures, and then I had a shot at deliverance instead of being sitting in a fucking college, university, or whatever, learning some bullshit that don't even matter no more. And now I don't know what the fuck's going on because, I didn't pay the men of the Lord, the apostles, no mind. I didn't pay them no attention because I was focusing on this. Well, who's the fool now? But yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles, man. Right? But like I said, the elect have a different mindset, and this is why the Most High, deals with elect differently. All right? But yeah, so the rise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. This world is polluted, right? It's not for us, right? It said it shall destroy you. Yeah, you get stuck in and sucked into the system, and now you're thinking you're going to be doing all these different things. It's all distraction at the end of the day. Esau doesn't really want you, he don't want you learning the scriptures really. He want you in the rat race. He want you, focusing on your education and your careers and shit. He wants you distracted. He wants you as a cog in the machine. Okay, you ain't got time to think about the scriptures and losing everything. And most straight don't want to hear about all of that. Having to lose things. They don't want to hear about that. They're looking to gain and get more gain. So they're gonna do this and do that. But the world's ending. Their world's ending. Where you gonna get from? Where are you getting your gain from? This thing's finished. It's Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14 says, for here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come, right? So our mind is, beyond this place. Okay, our mind is on the kingdom of heaven. And I said, you have to have faith to believe in that, but this is why we have the mentality that we do. Right? If you haven't got that mentality, it means you really just, you're off the world, man. You're a citizen of the world, a friend of the world. Right? But like I said, all those friends of the world, they're going to be destroyed because they can't let go of this place. But like we just read it's it'll be a sword destruction. This is not our rest. It's going to destroy you. Right? So again, for here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. Okay, that's the kingdom of heaven under the rulership of Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's what we're looking for. We don't want this place. Okay. This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in it or in the world, right? If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, because that's what it boils down to, the pride of life. You want to make something of yourself, right? You want to feel good about yourself, that of your achievements and show everybody that you're worth a damn, right? We don't care what people think of us, or if they think we're worth a damn or whatever. Right? That's why most people just look down upon us, because we're just crazy dudes, preaching about the end of the world, wearing rough garments. Who cares, man? What's that dickhead? Pardon my French. Is it Anton Daniels, mate? Guys like this, they just look down upon us because we're not, we ain't wearing fucking Gucci and some shit, because we ain't got our own business, and we're not wearing shades, or I don't know. They look down upon us because we're not materialists, we're not going after these things. And that's not to say like brothers don't have things. Like, yeah, fuck it. Like, brother might have a Gucci's belt. Who the fuck knows, right? Maybe, who knows? But ultimately, it don't matter. It doesn't matter to us what we have or what we don't have. Because like I said, we're ready to part ways with it. You know, as soon as we need to, bro. You know what I mean? As soon as that's it. We're leaving this world behind, man. Okay, we don't want to spend a minute longer than we need to be here. So anything that you brothers has got, hey, bro, we're meant to build the mentality, but bro, we don't. Hey, we ain't taking it with us. I gotta make sure I grab my Gucci belt to get beamed up in the charity. It ain't coming with you, and we all know this. We should all know this. Whatever positions you got, they ain't coming with us. All right, so it's not that we're building. We're not building anything. Okay, men are not building anything. Because nothing's here to last. You know what I mean? But Jake and the world, they want to collect, they want to build, they want to establish themselves and whatever, right? Because they think this world is going to carry on. It's not, right? But like I said, that is the difference in mentality of those that believe in the scriptures and those that don't really or don't understand it. Yeah, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away. This world's going to go. And the lust thereof, and he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. That's what we're concerned about. Okay, the will of the Most High. Okay, it's not the will of the Most High for you to go to, focus on the scriptures. All right, if you're a man of the Lord, this is what our trade is. This is our job. This is our main job, right? But it doesn't pay. All right, so the Lord provides us ways to get bread, so we got to work in the system. But this is only a job that we're here to do, right? Our what's the word I'm looking for? Our compensation is in the kingdom for the work, So that's how we look. That's how we look at it, But we're trying to build in the kingdom. That's why we do this work, So yeah, Revelations 13 and 16, right? Because like I said, ultimately these guys are attached to this world and want this world to continue, and want to invest, and want to build, want to prove something to themselves here, whatever. Like you said, you're in that friend of the world spirit, right? You're all gonna end up taking the mark of the beast, right? Because all your treasures is here, right? The things you want are here, and you ain't gonna want to see them go. You're gonna want to try and keep hold of it as much as much as you can do, not knowing that Esau's gonna sell you out. Right? He gonna promise you the world. Just take this mark, right? But you're gonna end up with nothing. All right. So yeah, those people, that type of mentality, they're gonna take the mark, right? But that's gonna lead to your destruction, all right? So again, Revelations 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So, what's your college degree, university degree gonna help with that? Ain't gonna help with shit. You're gonna find yourself in the exact same fucking position as everybody else. Ain't gonna help you with that. In Revelation 14 and 9, right? So the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, right? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, right? So all these aspirations and, this worldly mindset is going to get destroyed, right? Plain and simple. Okay, because you're fools, ultimately. All right. Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Okay, those that worship the beast, that worship his system. That want to have a part in his world, To hell with Esau in his world, man. It's fucking shit anyway. And full of wickedness. You know? We just want all this wickedness to stop, all this corruption, all this evil to stop. See, we don't want to, find our way, find our place in it. We don't want to find our place in it, man. This is not it's not a place for us. You know? But yeah, these people are gonna end up destroyed. All right. I think I just got one more left. Yeah. All right, we're gonna close out with this. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Hold on me. Let me read from pardon me again. I'm going to read from verse 7, right? It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed," okay, who is Esau, right? The so-called white man, "whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and lying wonders," right? Esau's got people gassed over what they can do, what they can achieve in this place. Everyone bought that American dream, man, thinking that they're gonna, be something, be somebody. Right? That dream died long ago. Right? Like I said, there was a time where, you went to America or whatever, you started something, you could do all right. That time is gone. Right? America is falling apart. Right? Britain, all these nations are falling apart. Right? That opportunity does not exist anymore. Right? And if Satan, if Esau is telling you, oh yeah, do this and do that, just know, bro, Esau's about to put a plug on you real quick. He's just gaslighting you, man, and scamming you into believing that, this place has more to offer, bro. It really don't. Okay, you're gonna, like I said, everything's just gonna fall apart, right? This is It said, "Even him who's coming off the working of Satan with all power of signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved." Right? They've all rejected this truth because they want to focus more on things in this world. Right? And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Everyone's been fooled by this devil. Right? That they might be damned, being destroyed. Okay, judged. Right? That they might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. I had pleasure in this world, because this world is unrighteous, right? But they've had pleasure in this world. They want to see it to continue, because they don't believe, or they don't really care about the kingdom of heaven or the Most High's word or anything, right? They want this place so they can have it and they can go out with it, It says, "But we are bound to give thanks always to the Most High for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through the sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth." Right, and this is, like I said, this is why our mentalities differ. From that dude in the video, right? He's thinking about this world. He's thinking about things that you need to do to do all right in this world. Well, we're not thinking about how to do all right in this world. Yeah, like I said, we need to get our daily bread. So we work jobs and all that kind of shit. But our thing is not about this world. Okay, this place is transitory, bro. We're here temporary. We're here temporary, right? And so we're looking how to get out. And that's only through Yahweh Shai. So we invest time in this word and understanding these prophecies, so we can see, when he's returning. And like I said, the writing's on the wall in this place, man. So if you think that now's a good time to go and do all that shit, man, you're just under this delusion. You know, you're under this delusion that you got time in this place to do all that. You know, most sides about getting ready to set this place on fire. You know, so yeah. All right, but it's kind of late, so I'm gonna call it there. Lord, it's been edifying, and yeah, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. And Kaha Yabashmi Oshai Bashim Rakab Kudash. Again, the ones unto the apostles. Shout out to Apostle Ramnar with his video for the inspiration for this one. Yeah, and so I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next one, man. All right, and hey, take care, shalom.